Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Football Talk. And today, your boy is back at it again with another reaction video. And shout out to the man himself, as you can see on your screen, Eric Wayweather. I played college football 27 early. Here's the truth. Now, he did a similar video with college football 27 that we did react to, is on the channel right now. If you have not checked it out, make sure you check it out on my YouTube channel. And so yeah, I cannot wait to hear his thoughts and see the new things, maybe, you know, some stuff that we didn't get to see in the trailer or in the live stream. If you guys watched that, EA did have their first like a live streamer showing a lot of like the new stuff that's gonna be in the game. But I'm super excited to hop into this. This is a pretty lengthy one. This is about 14 minutes, so let's get into it.
I got to play college football 27 early, and I want to tell you everything you need to know about gameplay. My previous video was an early exclusive gameplay video, but it was mostly breaking down some of the bigger new features, whereas in this video, I want to give you more of my opinions on how the game is playing, what these new
I said Madden. I think I said Madden in the intro, guys. I meant to say college football 27. We gonna continue.
features mean, and just kind of everything you need to know about it. The rollout being so different this year kind of threw me off, especially being out of town for the event, so I will be breaking down everything else about the game in the coming days, and I've got more exclusive content coming as well, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that exclusive stuff. And I also got a couple beta copies of the game to give away, so make sure to follow on my socials. I'll be doing that later tonight. Now, right off the bat, everybody wants to know, does it play more like College 25 or does it play more like College 26? To me, the easiest way to put it is it still feels like it's part of the same family. If you're expecting a completely different football game, completely different physics and player movement, that's not what it is. But there are a bunch of new mechanics and some big key differences that make it a completely different playing game in a lot of other ways. The overall game speed to me felt closer to 26 than 25, maybe somewhere in between, but it's kind of hard to really tell for sure because they really weren't that far apart. I wouldn't say we're back to the complete breakneck speed that 25 had. However, I do personally feel that the ball carrier and left stick control felt noticeably closer to 25 than 26. Running the football felt more responsive, making cuts felt smoother, and I felt like I had a little more control over my player in space.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So he said like the ball carrier movement is kind of like 25, a lot more control than 26. He said as far as gameplay wise, it's not going to be an overhaul, which is something that a lot of people gotta understand, that when you have overhauls and stuff like that, like it might, like for some of you guys that be in the comment section and stuff, you guys might think of it as a good thing, but you gotta remember there are average people that just come home from work and just want to play the game, and they want to play a game that is familiar to them. So to overhaul the game is not gonna, like, no, that's and it could do more harm than good a lot of the times for overhauling something. But he said it's more like in the middle between college and I meant 25 and 26. I think that's a good balance in my opinion, because 26 was more like grounded realism compared to 25, which was, like I've said this before, if you've ever played Madden on arcade mode, I do recommend that. That is what 25 felt like. Obviously a little bit, a little bit faster and stuff because of, the player movements and because it's college. But that's the best comparison I can give to someone that maybe have not checked out the college football since it's comeback, and they only been on the Madden. That's the best way I can put it. That's how 25 felt
in space. So if I had to summarize kind of how the game speed and the movement feels, I would say speed closer to 26 with ball carrier movement being closer to 25.
Closer to 26.
One of the biggest changes we have to talk about is custom adjustments, and I'm going to go out there and say this is going to be one of the biggest changes in gameplay history for any EA football game. I mean, we're talking like the hit stick. A few years ago, the switch stick was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
This is up there with those because now you can set custom macro adjustments in your settings and
the
bring
custom adjustment thing. I'm not really into this, but
that you like to run.
This is something I feel like I am going to get
every
into.
Receiver, running back, tight end route, how your line blocks,
Look
who
at
the
this.
mic
Look how
is
much
that you want to
stuff you
identify
can
on
do,
the play.
bro.
Like, you can select literally everything, and you can do this on defense as well. If you have a certain style of coverage you like.
This is definitely going to be the biggest change in football game, in my opinion. Like he said, with the hit stick and stuff, when that got introduced, like it was just a whole new way to play the game. And this one right here, it just gives you so much flexibility with what you want to do. Like, you can do exactly what you want to do. If you always, didn't like, oh, you couldn't adjust this or just that, guess what? EA say, you know what, this year, adjust it all. Adjust it all. Have fun, If you don't want to adjust, we always got our old system here where we do the things for you. But if you want to adjust every little thing that you could think of, hell, you can adjust things in here that I'm pretty sure 99% of us don't even know what the fuck it is. But the names sound cool, and it sounds like it might help my defense off. You don't know what it's going to do, but it sounds like it. And you look it up on Google and stuff. Oh my God, bro. I can already see the videos, like the best custom adjustments for offense. The best way to stop this route on defense. If somebody loves crossing routes, this is how you do it. Like, I can already see the content makes itself, bro. This is by far the biggest change in in football. This is one of the biggest changes in football history, in my opinion. Custom adjustments.
You can set these custom macros so that when you go into a game, you can just come out of these plays as is. And there's also a bunch of stock ones that you can use in game as well. So if you want to stop the scrambling QB, you just hit two buttons, it spreads your line, contains, and puts a spy on the field. So this is really huge across the board for even your casual or your offline players and your high-level players. For your high-level
players, I'm an offline player and a casual player.
And it gives them the tools they need to run whatever they want. But even for a player who maybe isn't as good, this is huge too, because you now have an ability to stop players that may be better than you a lot easier. Because a big complaint
especially
always was,
online, oh my gosh.
In game. You show people how to stop a popular offense or how to stop a scrambling quarterback, and people will say, I don't have enough time to make these adjustments in game. They snap the ball too quick. That's out the window, because you can set up all the custom adjustments that you think you would need for a game. You have the ones that are set for you, and you can add 10 more on both sides of the ball on top of that. So no longer is it a matter
I think Madden is unlimited.
To stop cheese play. You can just
that's like the X factors
one,
and stuff.
2, and now I have a defense set up to stop exactly what this popular offense might be, or I can stop the scrambling QB. And on offense, if I know that they're running this same mid blitz every play, I have a play that completely destroys this, I can just shift into that with 2 button clicks and absolutely tear them up. This is going to be a massive change to the game, and it's one of my favorite features they've added in many, many years. But to me, by far, the biggest thing that stood out was the defense, and I talked a lot about it in the previous video, but defense is on a different level this year, and look, I'm sure we're going to figure out ways to break it. It's a video game, but this is the smartest the defense has ever been, in my opinion, in an EA game, and it's still early, so I guess that could change, but the amount of stuff they gave us.
Hold on. I'm sorry for pausing so much. Did you hear what Eric Rayweather just said? He said the smartest defense EA has ever to football game. If you're a defensive guy, this is the game for you. And I've heard this from multiple people that have early access to the game. If you're a defensive player, this might be your favorite football game you've ever played. Like, it's that good. And if you play the CPU, it is still like that. It still gives you that challenge that you didn't get before unless you went to, what is it? I think Heisman is the hardest difficulty, or it might be, I think it's Heisman. I could be wrong, but I think it's Heisman. That's the most difficult one. Now you don't have to put it all the way there, because the AI can adjust and actually look like what it will look like on a Saturday. Yeah, if you're a defensive guy, bro, if you're an offensive guy, you didn't already look. Its offense is obviously overpowered, even in real life. Boy, oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of broken controllers for the offensive players.
On defense this year, is unlike anything EA has ever done in any of their football games. Scott OG, the lead of gameplay, said this is the smartest and most advanced game that they've ever put out, and I kind of have to agree. The things that they did to defense this year gave us all the control we've ever wanted. For years, one of the biggest frustrations in these games has been watching people spam the same routes over and over again and feeling like your AI defenders
ain't
have
gonna lie,
no answer
I
for
do
it.
that too.
Now with College Football 27, it finally gives you the tools to fight back, or at least attempt to. You can now choose aggressive or conservative coverage behavior, allowing your defenders to react differently based on what your opponent is doing. So if you set your coverage to aggressive or ultra aggressive, they will really clamp down on things like drag routes, whip routes, return routes, underneath flats, but you will be a little more vulnerable over the top. Whereas if you set it to conservative or ultra conservative, they will drift further back into that intermediate area of the field. Now, of course, you can still shade your defense underneath and over top as well, but the aggressive and conservative kind of just gives you a little bit more oomph in these areas. They also added plaster logic, which is a massive addition in my opinion. So now when a quarterback breaks the pocket and starts scrambling around, defenders won't just continue covering grass. They'll lock on the receivers and play them more aggressively once the play breaks down. And you can set these things in your coaching adjustments. If you want your plaster logic to be more aggressive or conservative, you can set a timer to it, because you may play someone that breaks the play down every single time, whereas other people may play from the pocket more and you don't have to worry about it as much. And look, it's not perfect. There are definitely still instances where they don't lock on and they kind of stand around. I mean, it's a video game. It's not going to be perfect, but it's a lot better than it has been.
People that always been, look at this little screenshot right here. Look at it. Look at it.
Try to just run around and let the play break down. We now have smarter defenders that can help us take that stuff away. And speaking of covering grass, zone defenders are just simply smarter this year. They're much better at looking for work and reacting to developing threats coming into their area instead of standing in empty space while the receiver runs right past them. And again, it's not going to be perfect. Yes, there's still going to be times where maybe they don't react as well as we'd like. Obviously, higher rated defenders are going to react better than lower rated, which is how it should be. But again, the zones are going to play a lot better than before. And look, I played the game, as much as I could. I had limited time playing it early when I was at the event, and before that when I was recording some early footage, but I found the defense to be hard. Now, usually at the beginning of each game, a new game cycle, the defense always seems harder until you adjust and learn new ways to play. So eventually the defense maybe won't seem quite as crazy as it is now, but I found myself getting stopped by the computer much more than I ever had before just out of the box. Usually I could run a lot of the same stuff and easily move up and down the field, but this time they were jumping routes a lot better than usual. They were clamping on the routes and matching receivers better than usual, and there were just times I came away saying like, man, I play against the kind of OP. Depending on who you are, you might not like that. I think maybe a more casual player or someone that just kind of wants to pick.
Yeah, I could definitely see like
struggle a little bit. You might.
I'm a casual player, but at the same time, I like challenges.
Those who are ultra competitive, they'll learn how to adapt to these things. But also, the ultra competitive people now having those tools on defense can help the smarter player maybe hopefully win more games. So really, depending on who you are, defense being better, you either love that or you might absolutely hate it. So you're just gonna have to kind of make the adjustments and roll with the punches. And it doesn't just stop there on defense, because now we have coverage checks designed to handle modern offensive formations like bunch, trips, and stacks inside your coaching adjustments. Now, without getting too overly technical, because even I don't understand all of this stuff just yet, these checks basically allow the defense to communicate and exchange responsibilities much more effectively against route combinations that have traditionally stressed coverage rules. Instead of defenders getting confused by traffic and crossing routes, the defense has more answers built into the system. So if you go into your cover 3 match, your cover 4 matching principles, your cover 6 matching principles in your coaching adjustments, you can set how you want them to react based on the certain popular formations. Now, this is high level stuff. I don't even understand it. At the top level, this stuff is going to make defense really, really tough. If you're like a nerd on defense and you know how all the coverage rules work and you know exactly how you want your defense to react against popular bunch or trips route combinations, you have all the tools to help take this away now. At a more casual level, you might not really mess with this because it's just a little too in depth, but I like that if you're a player that wants to nerd out and get really deep into this stuff, you have the options now. And speaking of the coaching adjustments, there's even more than that. You can now adjust your cornerback depth and width before the snap, similar to how you could do that with safeties last year. You can determine how aggressively your defensive line attacks gaps. You can decide whether you want your pass rush hunting big plays or playing more disciplined football. Obviously, if you go aggressive on this, you have a chance to make bigger plays, but it knocks your stamina or your gap integrity if you do that. Now, this is a really big defensive year, but moving on to the offense, I think overall felt a little smoother, which, I mean, that should be the thing. Each year we get a new game, it should feel smoother. The animations should look a little bit better. Are they going to be perfect? No, I don't expect perfection. I know there's still going to be some janky stuff that happens here or there. I think throwing the ball looked a little bit better. It's gotten incrementally better each year with the animation quality, though I still think there's work to be done there. Moving in the pocket is actually really good. When you step up in the pocket, your player has a little bit more of a faster speed when climbing the pocket, so it rewards people that actually want to play in the pocket.
I
where
like
if you're
that.
someone that likes to drift back a lot, you'll notice your player moves a lot slower when constantly trying to drift back. So
So your player moves slower when you drift back.
A little bit more agility in the pocket to make plays happen. And we also got to talk about timing-based catching, which I know is very controversial so far. Some people love it, some people don't.
I've been seeing a lot about this.
So this is optional. You can turn it on in your settings, and you can choose how many yards.
Thank you, Eric Rayweather, for saying that. I think I talked about this before, but I still see this on the internet. Oh my God, they're copying 2K. Why we gotta have in their quote a shot meter for catching? You can turn it off, guys. They said it in the announcement as well. You can turn this off. It's an optional thing, like the revamped passing thing, like with the meter. When they introduced, I think they introduced that with last year, right? Or maybe 25. I think it was last year though. You can turn that off. It takes 2 seconds to listen. Just 2. It takes 2 seconds to shut your damn mouth and listen. Just 2. And then you will realize that they even said in their own announcement, you can turn this off. This is not a locked in type of thing. You can turn this off there. And for the ones that do like it, and you know, they can have it. It gives you options. You guys always complain about not getting enough customization or enough options. But then when they give you an option, you don't even realize that they're giving it to you because you don't shut your damn mouth. You just sit up here and complain. I'm sorry. I'm stop going in this rant. I go in this rant every video because this community sucks. There, I said it. The people on the internet on this community, just stop playing games, bro.
Yards down the field you want this to activate. You can choose 10 yards or 20 yards. I think it's better for deeper passes. And depending on your catch type, you just want to try to time it right when the ball is getting to you versus before where you would just hold it down the entire time. Now, if you play with this off, you'll still get the dice roll catches. But if you have this on, you hit the green window, you can almost guarantee a catch depending on the situation. And a lot of people think this is just a guaranteed outcome, but that's not how it was really explained to me, and not my experience. Depending on the receiver's ratings or the coverage quality or abilities,
based on the ratings and stuff, it's not automatic,
or it can remove it altogether. Like some lockdown corners will negate a green window, which means all your catches will be dice rolls if you're on that star cornerback, but there may only be 1 or 2 guys like that in the game, to be fair. But something like double coverage, I believe, removes the green window altogether because, I mean, catching a ball in double coverage is not something you see a ton, whereas one-on-one, you'll have that green window if you're not playing a super lockdown corner. So now, if you're someone that wants to go for those one-on-one catches, a lot of people say, I can't make a one-on-one jump ball catch. Well, turn the setting on, green it, and now you can, unless you're just playing a lockdown corner, which has the ability to shut down a perfect catch. You can also negate a perfect catch by laying a big hit. Even if you hit the green window, if you time a good hit stick, you will knock the ball loose. So I know people are worried about Zins maybe coming to Madden. If you don't know what that is, it's very popular in 2K and MLB The Show, which allow for perfect shot timing and perfect hits on a baseball. Yeah, we may deal with something like that now that there is a timing-based catching, but there are a number of things that can completely negate a green window. Like I said, double coverage, an elite cornerback, knocking the ball loose. So yes, it could be a bit of a problem potentially, but there is no just 100% guaranteed outcome here. It's just a better chance
to
catch the ball
not 100%.
if you're good at using it. And even if you don't time it perfectly with the green window, you can still make the catch. If you time it in the yellow, it's just going to be a dice roll like it was before. Now, another feature that I think is going under the radar, and I didn't even talk about it in my last video because I wasn't aware of it at the time, they've brought back formation shifts. This is something I believe we maybe haven't seen since PS2, and don't get me wrong, you can get a little glitchy with this if you're a high-level player, but it is something that should be in the game. What this does is it allows you to call a play, then shift into a different formation while keeping the original route concepts intact. So for players who love building offensive systems and creating unique looks, this opens up a ton of possibilities. So before you come out in a play, you can select in your play call screen which formation you want to shift into, and then you call a play, you get to the line, and then you shift that different formation, and your routes stay the same. So this could create some really crazy plays but it's something we see in real football. And the playbooks themselves are just excellent once again. There are over 1,000 new plays. They've really just been adding a ton of new plays for both college and Madden over these last few years. They also added a lot of new defensive formations and defensive playbooks this year for college, which is really good. And something really crazy they did, which they've never really done before, is they've even added some pro player concepts to the game. So some of the best college football and Madden players that win the tournaments every year, they cook up unique route concepts. Now that we have all the hot routes available to us, and they've given us more control over the last few years, players have created some really unique plays that are tough to stop. And now EA said, you know what, we'll just put some of those plays stock into the game. Now again, some people may hate the sound of this, but now they're just in the game stock. So you have a lot of great stock plays more than ever before.
You can try it out and stuff like that.
They also improved the short yardage game. Goal line situations received a ton of attention. Quarterback sneaks now include a timing mechanic.
I love this right here. This was another one that people complained about, the time thing. They were getting confused with this, by the way.
Like even when you time it in the green, it's not automatic, but it definitely gives you a much better chance to nail the short yardage conversion. Dynamic weather is also one of my favorite.
And you can do that on defense
now the rain and snow can start unexpectedly. The conditions can change throughout the game. The weather can intensify, calm down, stop completely, or suddenly appear. And it's play-to-play based, not quarter-to-quarter. So even just a few plays later, you can see that the snow will start stacking up more than it was a few minutes ago, which is pretty cool. For my offline and single players, they also did a lot of work with AI. Of course, all the defensive stuff we talked about is there, but they just did a better job with runners doing a good job at identifying leverage, finding lanes, reading blockers, and understanding field position, making them smarter overall. Robo quarterback issues aren't completely gone, but they do feel improved quite a bit. And perhaps the most important thing, the AI has access to all the same tools that users do. Aggressive coverages, coverage shells, different shifts. They can do it all. Will it be perfect? No, it's not. It's not going to be perfect. Let me just put that out there now. It's not going to be perfect. You're still going to probably see some dumb stuff happen, but what we're looking for here are big improvements, and I think we got that with AI play. And this is also really big for coach mode, which received a big overhaul that people have been asking for.
I definitely
you can now watch from the coordinator or coaching perspective, which is awesome. You can decide whether you or the quarterback controls the snap. You can select the primary receiving option so that your quarterback looks at him first. Another cool thing is you can even choose to cut off communication with the QB at 15 seconds, just like real life. Now, again, you can turn it on or off. It's up to you. But if you want to play like a real coach, all the different adjustments you may make to play, at 15 seconds that stops, and you can't make those adjustments for your computer anymore. And I think that's pretty realistic and pretty awesome. Now, if you want a closer look at some of these gameplay mechanics in play, you can check out my previous video with exclusive footage where I broke all of this stuff down.
Man, oh man, that was a lot. I did not really talk too much. I'm looking at the recording. This is a 25-minute recording. I'm so sorry. I really am. Yeah, it is looking good. It's looking good. If you're a defensive player, you're gonna love this. Even if you're an offensive player, it's gonna take a little bit to get used to, like, not being able to do the meta plays and stuff like that. But once you adjust to it, I'm sure it's gonna be just as fun as it is for the defensive guys. But yeah, I love the changes that they have done, and it looks really, really good. Let me know what you guys think about College Football 27. Are you guys gonna buy it, or are you guys gonna wait till it go on sale? Let me know in the comments down below. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next.